President Biden's polls, well, they keep getting worse, if you can imagine. And now 75% of Democrats want someone else to run for president. You think? Okay, I don't know. This story, I feel like we're doing it a lot because the polls keep dropping every time we do this story. But as I look at this story, it's a little more concerning than it has been. Because the story is really about, do you not want him because he's old? That's not the reason.
Right.
We don't want him because his policies are bad. We don't want him because we think he's a bad president. We don't want him because the policies that he's created are making their way down across the entire Democratic Party. That's what scares me about this story. And it should scare the hell out of Democrats, to tell you the truth.
It really should, because I think the last time you and I talked about it, the number was about 60% of Democrats said no, and that was only 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So the fact that that number keeps jumping, 5% per week, basically at this point, that's a horrible sign for the Democrats. But what's even more remarkable, too, is that actually generic ballot polls right now show Democrats for the first time ahead in the midterm races. Okay. So he's bad, but now that more Democrats are acknowledging that, it's not dragging the whole party down.
Yeah.
It's just dragging him down, which of course will cost him in 2024, absolutely. But he has to come out now or after the midterm, the day after the midterms, and say, guys, I have 2 more years. I'm not coming back in 2024.
The holdouts seem to be older baby boomers for him. I mean, what's up with it? The older baby boomers seem to want to hold on to what they can and say, yeah, I'm an older baby boomer, I guess, but I'm looking at it, I'm going, no, I don't want him to run again. The good news here is 55% of Republicans don't want, 55% of independents who identify more to the right say they don't want Trump to run again.
Right, and it would be horrible if we're looking at a repeat of Trump-Biden in 2024, but the Republican Party, they've got this big apparatus. Their media outlets, especially Fox, they're already starting to hype other people like Ron DeSantis, who the Democrats don't have people waiting in the wings. They're trying to force Pete Buttigieg on us. They're trying to force Kamala Harris, who is even more unpopular than Biden.
6%. She has 6% support. Harris does. Buttigieg has 17%. In a perfect setting.
And then, another option that's out there is Gavin Newsom, but there's a lot of problems over in California.
We're going to talk about
so
that.
So we're probably looking at Colorado's governor, maybe, or could be somebody that is just a sleeper
fresh?
right now. Yeah.
How about somebody new? How about why we stop sending fossil fuel to D.C.? How about we get away from Jurassic Park up in Washington, D.C.? How about we give millennials and Zs a chance to have an input in what they want government to look like? And these older baby boomers, again, I'm one, but older baby boomers say, we've had our time. Z and millennial, they ain't that fond of baby boomers. They believe this is, a lot of these problems we have been brought on by them.
Yeah.
And so, I think we have to call it what it is. Maybe it's time to.
Well, and it's like Kennedy said. You brought this up last time we talked about this. Kennedy made it a point to say we have to pass the torch.
Yeah,
and that's what these folks are absolutely unwilling to do. Biden in his 80s, Pelosi in her 80s, Schumer's in his 70s. We've got all of these.
Durbin, 82?
Feinstein, 200.
Is Feinstein still alive? Ain't really. Okay. Well, look, let's hope for the best. It's time to move aside and let kind of the next generation take over here, I think.